Welcome to Other Live Studio Embellishment and Repair Workshop. Today we're going to teach you how to revive an old piece in your wardrobe and redesign it by strategically placing cutouts throughout the garment and finishing the edges with beading. This design detail was inspired by Area's Fall 2020 collection. They used this embellishment on different styles, including a coat, trousers, a dress, and a button-down. We linked the collection on our blog so you could check it out. We're so obsessed. We also included design inspiration for beading from other designers. You can apply this design detail to pretty much anything in your wardrobe. We used a sweater, and you could use any shape you want and create whatever form inspires you for the cutouts. We loved the organic shapes Area used, so we kept that design detail. For this workshop, you're gonna need needle and thread, scissors, snippers or small scissors, beads, straight pins or safety pins, fusing, and your garment, maybe something with a hole in it. We're gonna start by pinning the placement of our shapes onto the garment. I'm gonna start out by pinning out the hole because I want to repair that in a way. So I'm just gonna cut that hole out. You wanna make sure not to pin both layers of your garment so you can easily flip it inside out after you're done pinning and figuring out the placement so we could add the fusing. It could be any shape you want, just feel free to design what feels natural. I'm gonna go with organic shapes and kind of balance it out from one side to the other, creating a more harmonized asymmetric look. You want to make sure you have enough beads for your design, and I'm just laying them against my pins to make sure I have enough. Now we're going to flip it inside out so we can add our fusing. Now we're going to cut out our fusing using our pins to guide the size and shape. We want to make sure to leave about a 1/4 inch or more of a border outside of the pin shape, and make sure you have the sticky dotted side down so it doesn't stick to your iron when you iron it. I'm pinning them on to keep them in place. Just make sure to remove the pins when we iron it. So now we're gonna iron based on our appropriate setting. Sticky side down. Make sure the glue isn't facing up or you're gonna have a nightmare. Again, let's remove the straight pins so they don't get stuck in there. And just keep going until you're done pressing your fusing and it feels nice and secure. Then you're gonna flip it inside out and get ready to cut out your shapes. So now we're going to cut out our shapes using our pins to guide us. We just have to make sure that we don't cut outside of the fusing. That's why we left a little bit of a border. And I find it helpful to use smaller scissors. You can buy them, they're called Snippers as well. They just kind of help you get more of a precise shape. So you're just going to keep going until you get all your shapes cut out, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can always go back and trim the edges once you're done to make sure you get the shape you want. now that we have our design cut out, we are going to start with the beads. I have wire beads, so I'm going to make an anchor at the edge to close it off and secure the beads by creating a small loop and wrapping the edge of the wire into the beads. And that will help us secure the edge and have something to sew it down with. And when I'm done with the shape, I'm going to use the same technique to keep it down. When you sew, you want to make sure to do every few beads. That way you don't spend an eternity on this. I'm doing every 4 beads or so. You can make it tighter or, looser of a space depending on your design and your bead type. Mine are tiny, so that is enough of an anchor for me. I'm sewing right between the beads and making sure I pull it taut so no loose edges get caught. I'm just sewing in and out and around the wired beads. If you have loose beads, you're basically going to do the same thing, just sew one by one. And I'm giving myself a bit of an edge at the opening of the hole I cut out, so it kind of has more of an organic feel. You could place them on the edge if you want as well. This is the most tedious part of the process. It takes a lot of time, so make sure you're comfortable and keep going until you're done. I'm using the same technique that I used to create a loop when I started the beading to close the end of the wire. If you're not using beaded wire for this, you can just sew the bead right into the garment, into the fabric, and tie a knot into the inside of the sweater when you're at the last bead. This may be the type of project that you want to do with a friend. It's very time consuming. As you can see, Kim and I joined forces on this one. But you could also just do it yourself and kind of take it as an opportunity to be present with the work you're doing and maybe even meditate a bit while doing it. And here's the finished product. I'm pretty happy with how the shapes turned out. I think it looks nice and balanced. I might go back and clean up some of these edges and trim it a bit, but for now I might leave it. I like the organic feel of it. I'm excited to wear it a lot more.